Hello, y'all. I realized I forgot my water at the last second and ran and grabbed it, so a little slow on the start there, but whatever. Um, Damn camera. You have to follow me everywhere, even past where the green screen ends. Anywho, how is anyone doing? Everyone doing? Um, this here is a stream where I'm going to play some Battle Aces. Battle Aces is a fast-paced RTS where every match is like 5 minutes long with a literal maximum length of 10 minutes. But but I'll say I got into the first beta. This is the second beta. Got into the first beta, played for like 3 days before that beta ended, and I never saw any game last more than like 6 minutes. So like 5 minutes is the bullet point here, and it's really fast paced. It's really accessible, and it's back into beta this weekend, as of like November 7th, when it is the day that it is, and it goes until like the 18th, I think. So like a week and a half beta. People have access to it. There's like codes going around. It's a whole thing. I'll say a couple of things up front. How do I put this? There has been a big news week. I will say, since the last stream, my dad's dog did get put down, and well, that's not the worst news of the week. How about that? You know, people in 2024 November, the week that it is, they know what I'm talking about. What's been going on in the world this week, in general. Maybe just, you know, I'll say we're not gonna talk about that tonight too much. It's horrible. There's a lot to say about those involved, those who won, and those who lost. But suffice it to say, kind of want to focus on Battle Aces for now and just sort of, you know, not worry so much about the next 4 years, if you catch my drift. Well, I guess we'll worry about however long that Battle Aces exists. Battle Aces will probably be around for the next 4 years with any luck. Yeah, let's say that. Maybe longer. I will say, of Battle Aces. Okay, first off, I have seen a little bit of hubbub about this beta. A little bit of hubbub. While I was at work, I looked at the Reddit, just out of curiosity, and there are a lot of people really upset, especially on account of this tutorial. You have to go through the tutorial again, even if you already did, like, back in summer, when the first beta was. And, well, it just sort of slowly drip feeds tutorial information and, like, units to you, which is cool, but, like, and faces you against what are presumably bots. You can never be sure, but they're bots, you know, they're easy. People find that boring, frustrating, etc. And the other thing that they find frustrating is that the pace of unit unlocks is very slow. If one were not to include the daily quests that exist, it would take like, what would it take, like hundreds and hundreds of hours? Someone did like the math and found that it would take a absurd amount of grinding for like something on the order of like days to get to a single unit unlock, not including daily quests. So, you know, hey, dailies do exist. I don't know how. So in this beta, they exist. That is a concern, and perhaps we'll gate what we can see tonight as I play some and, you know, unlock units as I can. I think it works on like a rather than, I'm not clear how it works exactly. I think that you get like unlock currency through the battle pass thing, and then you spend that on whatever units you like. So we'll have our choice in like units, I guess, and let's try to choose good ones that are interesting and fun to use. And also, I'll talk about the game. I'll say, people who are watching the VOD later on, if people are watching the VOD, you can always use the timestamps to skip past the tutorial, to skip past the proving ground. I just launched this game right before starting the stream, and apparently by letting it sit at the on the tutorial, I have cleared it. Really did mean to go through it for anyone brand new to the game's benefit. I mean, I could show it again, I guess. Maybe I could restart it. I unlocked a King Crab, which is a very cool unit, I say. I mean, I don't know. Haven't seen the full game yet. I don't know if it's still very cool. Okay. Let's, I think that about covers what I wanted to say going in. On other topics real fast before we get in. Really, I had a nice week. Other than the news, obsessing over the news. Played a lot of Metaphor. Watched a lot of anime. Relaxed a fair bit. And, you know, also stressed about the news. Again, it's November 2024. If you're watching like years later for some reason and you don't know what's going on, you could remember where you were that month. And yeah, we're here in the present. It's a whole thing. What am I gonna say? Okay. So that first tutorial was probably explaining some simple things. Let's go through these tutorials. Hey, it's time for tutorials. And we'll separate tutorials and proving grounds also. We're done talking about other stuff. This will load quickly, right? My computer's pretty fast. It should be able to handle it. It probably explained a couple of the basics. Things like, where it was hovering for a while. It was hovering on, like, You think it's frozen? I'll give it a minute longer. Maybe my, like, idling until maybe me idling until the tutorial went away caused some unexpected behavior. This can't be right. I think we need to... Okay. I'm gonna hit the button. I'm gonna pop it out. I'm going to shut it down. Shut it down. Pull the plug. Pull the plug. Let me see now. Finding it in my task manager. Jeez, where is it? CPU. Okay, there we go. Sort by CPU. Battle Aces. End task. Okay, cool. Let's restart. Again, hey, this is a beta. I just want to say, beta. This is a beta. It makes sense, perhaps. It's not the most stable in the world. Okay, this is where it left off. So cool. Cool. So, this is a new thing in this new beta. Where it has like a unit, I was about to say triangle, a unit square, where like small counters anti-big, anti-big counters big, big counter splash, and splash counters small, and they have like literal stat poised adjustments to make it so that like, oh, splash does extra damage to small. It's not just a natural advantage of doing an AoE effect. No, it literally also just does more damage to those and less damage to other units that aren't quote-unquote small. If this doesn't work, I don't know what we'll do because... Oh, there it goes. Okay. So, I guess already in the first tutorial, what they explained was like, oh, when you hit Z here, when you hit Z button, it makes an expansion, like, right here. And it does it, like, using 400 and 400 of these two resources, okay? And it just happens instantly, though the workers at the base, they take time to build and to grow, so they, production doesn't start immediately, but, you know, you basically just hit Z, and you have a second expansion. Okay, the first one is right here, so. And you can hit it again, so long as you have 400, 400. And another one will appear. And you can see, you can get your stuff up really quickly. There's also, this game works as far as, like, units go. As long as you have resources, like here I have 1,000 red. You can see there, these guys cost 100 red. So I'm just going to hold down Q. And it's going to make that many little crab guys all real quickly. So that's how this game works as far as production. It's instant. As far as expansion goes, it's also instant. You have like a making thing you can see in the lower left there, that way. You can see that I can tech to foundry, and when I do that, after a... Wow, that was fast. What the fuck? Did they speed that up, or is this just for the sake of the tutorial? But it takes a while, and then eventually you unlock, like, units that are on W and R. And you want to build some king crabs, because king crabs are good. They cost, you know, extra blue, though, so, you know, watch out. They cost as much blue as they do red, so that's a bit of a premium. I select all my units and send them out into battle.
Units in combat.
And there they go. I need to adjust these, Oh, there's no pausing, even though it's just a tutorial. Gameplay, mouse sensitivity, I have to max. You know what, let's go with 45. Camera scroll speed. You know, I'm thinking it's a little too much. Let's go with the default there, which is 50. I upped it a little bit. I'll also say you can see that you can enable focus fire, which makes it so that you can right-click an enemy and, like, you know, shoot them. Also, there's automated control groups where all your new guys are added to one, and then you can remove them from one to make, like, a task force or something, which sounds like a good idea. Did I lose all my king crabs? Where are my king crabs at? They got a lot of, those artillery guys. That's not good for me, clearly. But also, I, on the other hand, have a lot of these guys. The anti-big guys, I think they made it so that also anti-big was, like, strong against the core. Strong against the expansions as well. So you can see that you could basically make an army really fast, get a bunch of crabs really fast, get some of these guys really fast, and then very quickly switch back to controlling all your dudes, or controlling, like, if you want to do, like, oh, here's Task Force 2. I'll be like, here's Task Force 1, here's Task Force 2. I guess that's your micro. I say that's your micro. Like, the whole reason for the season. That's some micro that you can do if you're good. I'll say, I didn't mention up top, but I'm not, like, the biggest... I don't know when I made an A, one of those A guys there. I'll say, like, historically, I've never been, like, the biggest into RTSs. I liked, StarCraft 2 was the first one I played, and I found the online to be way too intense for me to manage. Let's take it down like 2 scotches there. Volume-wise.
Victory.
Don't want the sound of units firing guns to get over, to be louder than the shit. We gotta do 7 matches to get through the Proving Grounds now. Now we've done the tutorial, now it's time for Proving Grounds, which, you know, maybe we'll not I don't know, we'll see. Proving Grounds is not that different from the tutorial, honestly. It's kind of more an extension of the tutorial, where you're just, like, you know, playing matches, and every couple matches it gives you a thing, like, oh, you can have the airship, you can have the recall, you can have the heavy ballista, you can have all the game features. Wait, that's a 7? All the game features? 9 wins is all the game features. I'm confused. Why does it say out of 7? Oh, unlocks, not like 7 matches. 7 unlocks. Okay. Bulwarks and war crits. And then at that point you get the battle deck. And that's like your battle pass. The whole thing. We'll play some. Let's do it. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty fast-paced. Right now, we don't have that many units, so it's kind of, I say it's straightforward. Right now, it's just low-key nothing, you know?
Can we hunt?
These guys are anti-air. You really don't need to build them. Like, in the early game like this, at this point, they're also our only ranged units, to be fair. Our only ranged units happen to be those guys, but eventually you get some that aren't like that. Also, need to remember my,
Are you sure?
the main thing you see online is that everyone takes a resource base, like, right away. I need to remember to do that.
Your location?
You know, we don't need to build guys until really we want to go harass, or we want to scout, or we want to, I say scout as if there's something to scout other than enemy armies.
Okay, we can hurry.
We don't need to do things until we have a reason to do things. But I'm gonna get a Star Forge.
Oh, are we ready? Are you sure? Hurry, shoot! On the hunt.
Alright, I'm gonna pull this back.
Move, shoot.
And I'm going to also build some more crabs.
We can do it. Another location?
I used the focus fire there to focus fire, like, weak enemies, which is something I just thought the game didn't have the first time I played the beta, because I didn't look at the options. Nor did I, like, look at the, like, internet stuff about the game until the beta was basically over. I had, like, 3 days. I got in on, like, the Thursday? Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was like Friday night after a Mario Maker stream, so it was like late night. So basically 2 days. Make a bunch of those and make more crabs and send them all out. And you know what? Let's do that thing I mentioned. Make like a
Units reporting damage.
make like a raiding party and put them on a different hotkey. Also, I'm going to make another expansion and send these guys out.
Just cruising up here. Front of us.
Did I just see something?
Riding the waves.
Anti-air is very strong against air, I guess.
We made
It's
it.
funny, you really... Oh, they're shooting down at it. And it's these guys are anti-big, so they really take They take out the cores really fast. Oh, wow. I saw someone in, like, their Discord talking about that. Talking about, oh, like, you got this harassment unit, right? And they make it so that it just tears through cores. That's unbelievable how fast it does that. Wow. You know, I think it makes sense to say, like, oh, these guys are anti-big, so... And what is the core but a big thing? Should not the core take care of that? But, you know, clearly there are some consequences to that. Some unintended consequences. You might say somewhat of a butterfly effect as sort of leading up to that. You get it because the unit is called the butterfly. It doesn't matter. I think I want to get the foundry as well.
Need butterflies?
I'll say this bot, which I assume is a bot. Let's be real here. Is giving me like a little bit of trouble. Honestly.
Another location?
Which, you know, it's funny because you can destroy an army so fast, but also, like, your army also gets chewed up just as fast, and, you know, if they have resources, they can field another army just like, before you know it. Which is cool, because, like, oh, I lost my whole army. Not gonna let that stop me. Here's another army! Here's another army just right out of my ass.
Foundry ready.
Riding the waves.
Foundry ready. I need to get some, crabs. And also let me get some of these crabs as well. Like a whole lot of them. I'll say these crabs, you're really supposed to replace them like right away. Because they're not very efficient. They're very big, they kind of pile up a lot. You know, not all of them can attack enemies at once. The small crabs. The king crabs are good. I need to send some guys over here and end this. What are we doing? Okay. We got, like, plenty we can afford.
Victory!
The computer player surrendered? Okay. You know... you know what? It might be a... You think that's a person? Stealer style? They never teched up. I feel like the computer would have teched up. I don't know. But maybe it's a tutorial? Or maybe this would be computer, and maybe this is always a real person. That can't be true. People are saying that there's bots online, and I believe them. I considered, by the way, doing this, like, proving ground stuff off stream, but... And, like, starting with the game fully unlocked, I say in air quotes because, you know, the unit acquisition is supposed to be a problem. But,
Resource base warmed up and working.
But, I wanted to watch anime before the stream instead.
Enemy is building
And
a
also
resource
eat a
base.
dinner. So, you know, maybe if I had heard these criticisms yesterday, and then would I have played this game instead of doing like 10 hours of Metaphor? No, probably not. I don't know. I am real close to the end of Metaphor. Metaphor is goddamn wonderful. If you like Persona type, if you like Persona, it's a Persona type game, and it's as good as any Persona.
Resource base warmed up and working.
This is a bot. I'm going to expand. I'm going to expand aggressively.
Enemy is building a resource base.
I'm not convinced that this bot is going to come in and, like, ruin my day. And even if it does, like, I can convert this 1,000 minerals into a big, massive army.
Resource base warmed up and
More resource bases. Let's just go pretty much all in. Probably 4 is the limit.
enemy is
You know
building
what?
a resource base.
No, that's too far.
I'm gonna send out like a bunch of these crab guys over here.
Yes. Give him the claw.
And also, I'm gonna build,
Starting foundry.
just build the foundry. And I think let's go into the ballista guys, even though I like the, guys can't attack the thing. Nice. I don't know if I traded more than... You know what? I traded all minerals for that, so whatever it cost, it was worth it. I say, he's fixing to come in here. I'll make some more guys to, make sure I'm defending off whatever guys are coming in. Yeah, that'll be enough.
Are we supposed to attack?
Enemy is building a resource base.
It's hard to deal with guys in your supply lines. With melee guys, I guess, specifically.
Foundry ready.
Okay, it's time for the W's. 4 Q's. And, yeah, that push is defeated. Though, they do got more guys trailing in on account of, you know, they got guys to spare.
Starting Starforge.
Those things are slow. These things splash? I think these things splash. Need to build more queues. And let's get some king crabs in here as well. Jeez. The one thing I forgot, to a certain degree, is how much the battle keeps raging here. Like, there is no point at which the battle stops where it is time to focus on production. It's like, no, you gotta multitask. You gotta be on top of multiple things. And hell, if they're better than you at that, they can be on multiple fronts at once. They can be attacking. They could be attacking like, no, I'll say it's just
in combat.
here. You guys be part of 2. You guys go over to here. 1. You guys push in for the kill. I feel like this guy could afford, like, more guys all at once. Like, dude has so many bases. Dude had so many bases. I can't believe he was really supply starved or really resource starved, but I say it's a guy. It's a bot. Not bad.
Every win is earned. Bravo.
Good. You really don't have a moment to catch your breath in these games, and it's pretty cool. Small Starforge, it's air. Does air and ground. Okay, so I don't know that they really explained yet how this works. Did they explain how this works? Maybe they will once you have more than the amount of slots that is here. But the way that it works is that you have 2 units that you start with. You can tech into Foundry, which are these units, and Starforge, which are these units. You tech once to get your regular Starforge, which would be like the butterfly and the airship. You tech twice to get to advanced, and this slot can be either advanced or regular. I would say they should be swapped and put the one that's a flex in the middle, so it's like, they're next to each other, either this way or that way, but whatever. That's not how it is currently. Point of feedback. Anyway, so you switch them out, and you keep on getting units, and, you figure out, like, which ones you want in your deck. Eventually, we're gonna get something that doesn't suck on the core unit slot, at which point the crab will just never be viable again. I think the crab could be viable if you add something like a zealot dash or something, something fun like an ability, or, automatic or otherwise, but it's just sort of a fodder unit to use until you get, like, a better version of it, which you do, actually, pretty quickly. I'll say I do think that having very similar units that serve very similar purposes and have one be strictly a better version of another one, I don't like that kind of design because it just feels like the lesser version is just a waste of time, waste of space, waste of an unlock, a waste of, like, it's not even worth recognizing. It's not even worth, like, I think it's just, like, wasteful. Yeah, I think that about sums it up. About covers it. Gotta win 2 more games before we get, like, a ranged unit that doesn't cost your gas unit, your gas resource, so let's do that. I'll say, this game, fantastic to watch as far as esports go. Now, right now, I'm doing a stream where it's just me playing.
Enemy is building a resource base. Resource base
But
warmed up and working.
as far as, like, right now, it kind of doesn't make sense to, like, go in and do harassment since, even if you're looking at the second resource base, right? There's no workers to kill. It's not worth it. It's not worth, like, sending a raiding party of these fuckers. Of crabs, specifically. I will say, in my experience, with the previous beta...
You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it.
What's up, Mr.
What the fuck?
Crab selected. Move.
How silly. That's a silly guy. I don't know that's really worth it. You're not gonna get anything. Maybe you could force the enemy to... You know what? I should tech into, Starforge or...
Starting Starforge.
Let's tech into Starforge. Why not?
Crabs.
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
Also, you can hit space to look at what units the enemy has. The enemy has all the units, pretty much, which is neat. Still in the tutorial, though. Still in the proving grounds. What am I doing? I don't know how many crabs I need. Probably not this many. Do I want butterflies that can hit down? He's gonna have air units as well. So I think I might want the airship instead of like a bunch of butterflies. Because they can shoot air as well.
Crabs.
Or maybe I want some anti-air ground units.
Starforge is ready.
I think also the butterflies, were they slow? No, I'm thinking of the artillery guys. These guys were slow. Okay, I'm gonna push out. You know what? I'm gonna put in a couple of butterflies as well. And we have so much money, I might as well get more crabs.
Catching a gust. Woo! We made it.
And the butterflies will be good for taking out bases since they have the anti-big property. And so long as they don't have anti-air, so long as the enemy isn't anti-air, should be good. I'm gonna, like, move in,
Butterflies.
see what's going on with the enemy, but... Oh, jeez. Looks like they had more butterflies and we had more of the anti-air units. I think we're winning this battle. But also they can resupply faster than we can. And indeed, we ran out of our anti-air before they did. That's net loss there, I would say. Though we had the initial advantage.
Okay, selected.
I think getting some just basic anti-air would be good, considering.
Come on, let's go. Through the clouds. Swooping in.
Okay, let's go back in.
Just cruising up here. Let me at 'em. Riding the wave. Butterfly.
Wait, where? Spray the sky!
Hopefully those anti-air are doing their job. Yes, it looks like the anti-air has been effective. Has been dealing with this, these air guys, which is good. Yeah, I think that you just want to go with anti-air on the ground rather than like these guys. That's my first impression of like how this dynamic is working out here. I feel like when you see enemies making like one unit at once, I feel like they might not be human, because humans, at least me, amateur me, I have like tons of resources built up. I have just embarrassing stockpiles. I am never just making one unit at once. I'm always just going like, give me like 500. Give me like 500. That's impossible. You can only have 200 at once. And some units take more than one supply. I think the moment where this really... Recall are the unit that you really want in this game, and I've seen a lot of... I've watched... How did I do that?
Resource base warmed up and working.
Scuttleman muscle.
Put this guy here. Oh, and then I'll make another one, and I'll put him here in this choke point, and we'll know if people are coming to, you know, be annoying. I guess that helps. I feel like last time when I was in Proving Grounds, I just like aggressively expanded instead of teching up, and that was like fine. So I'm gonna do that this time. I'm just gonna go for it.
Be ready.
The thing that I think is a little bit could use a little bit of like refinement there is enemy tech is turning on.
Taking fire. Cover it.
Feels like a little bit, I don't want to say vague, but feels like a little bit, what it means is that it's starting to come online, it's starting to build. And I'm going to go ahead and do,
Enemy is building a resource base, starting foundry.
I'm gonna do Foundry, and also I'm gonna get as many anti-air dudes as I can. Go heavy on these, like, anti-air dudes, since that's gonna, like, effectively counter the air guys that are coming in. I'll say, the anti-air guys are a lot less good against the like, not on-the-ground guys, outside of the fact that they can shoot range, which right now is a novelty for them, because, you know, we happen to be using a very melee, the crabs are melee guys, you know?
Okay, we can hurry.
Hunter selected.
Move, shoot, cover.
Big group of guys.
On the hunt. Target saturation. Wait, where?
Build a couple more of those, and a whole lot more crabs, and yeah, time for some big crabs. Some king crabs. And, another king crab, please. They have no army anymore. Oh no, they do, it's just
Are they here?
in the wrong place.
King Crabs. King Crab time.
Start moving across. We have a whole bunch of dudes. Right now, the regular crabs are kind of a liability because they're sort of getting in the way of our, like, anti-air forces.
Enemy is building a resource base.
Better get
There
going.
we go, we got rid of those. Whoops, I went off the screen there and clicked behind the thing. Yeah, I need to
Resource base warmed up, starting Starforge.
remember to keep on production. That's a
King Crabs select.
Shoot them. Another location? Flyers! Are you sure?
And also, let's keep on the anti-air. That's working great for us.
Fresh
You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it.
Just gonna trade.
piano.
In fact, let me get some of these guys.
You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it. You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it.
Yeah, these anti-air guys just wipe up the air guys, making
You
it,
got a resource space taking fire.
not the best investment, I guess.
Under attack.
This works pretty well. Honestly, I should keep on producing the guys.
Workers.
Okay, kill it.
Exposed rear. Workers down.
They're killing workers, but I'm killing the base, so...
You got a resource space taking fire. Cover it.
Yeah, I'm very rich. I can
Resource
just...
base warmed up and working.
I'm just gonna expand behind that
You
one
got a
getting
resource
destroyed,
base
apparently.
taking fire. Cover it.
And I can get a bunch of those and as many crabs as I like.
You got a resource
look at all
base
those
taking
crabs.
fire. Cover it. Units engaged.
Okay. We're finally gonna get something that shoots. And you know, I gotta say, I feel like all these people out here that we're fighting, people, you know, probably bots. Maybe bots. They're not using the unit that you unlock just right here. The recall makes me wonder if they don't quite get the recall. I'll say, first time I got the recall unit, which, wow, they really aren't explaining how you equip units. Maybe, you know what, that's the other problem, is they haven't explained how to do this unit stuff. Some tutorialization needs work here, to be clear. But the recall is the reason for the season. I didn't quite get how they work. Oh, you can do practice versus AI with your practice deck. I wonder if it does, like, gives you like as much resources as you want or something. And look at this, it'll also show you like what they're good at, what they're not good at.
Enemy is building a resource base.
I should have built a resource base, because now I can't show the thing that these guys do until like it gets up to 400. But they're pretty cool. Okay, here we go.
Resource base warmed up.
Okay,
and
so
working.
these guys have an ability that teleports. Okay, so you click and they teleport to the thing nearest to your click, the resource base. Okay. Now, when I first was playing the beta, the first beta, I didn't understand this. I thought they just returned home, but they can basically return to any base. So, like, as you expand and just get like a massive army of these guys, like they come in to threaten, all of a sudden, like, bam, they're dealing with your full army. It's a very defensive unit, to be clear. A very defensive unit.
Plasma firing. We cover it. Super hot. We are the pale green. Sinking fire.
And you can also do some micro to, like, warp around the same base that you're in, I guess. A little bit.
Heavy infantry moving.
The important part, an important part is that you mass a big number of these guys. I guess. Also, that's like the whole
Are you sure?
thing.
Okay, we can hurry.
So that you can be threatening. Also, you gotta make sure probably to not have like too many units that cannot
Where?
recall mixed in.
Spray the sky!
So here I'm gonna take out this base and then I'm gonna return back.
Resource base taking. Workers getting flanked. Units reporting damage.
Move, shoot, cover.
Where's the F2? F1? You have to like literally do a whole match. It's not like a it's not like a bespoke practice mode, I guess. It's like a actual you're actually queuing into the practice AI. Practice versus AI. Feel like it should be more like Heroes of the Storms practice mode where you just do a thing. Let's keep going. Now with a unit that's like, that we can mass up on. I guess, even with those guys, there is like a trade-off, right? There is still like a... That reminds me. There was an issue with the... Sorry, I was distracted. Let me build a resource base. I'm looking at my stuff real fast. I had to turn off the Pikmin because I thought the volume wasn't working, but I think actually they're fine, so let me turn those back on. Didn't need to turn them off after all. Let me expand another time. And if they come for us, we'll build as many guys as we can and start defending that way. Whichever base they go to. What do they got? They just got the regular robots? Yeah, I'm feeling good about my odds.
Enemy is building a resource base.
And they're expanding aggressively as well. Build an army.
Arbitration of combat.
So I will say that you get a lot fewer of them for, like, your buck than is the case for
starting foundry.
In defense of the lady.
is the case for
Slow. Full heat.
you get a lot fewer of them than you get like for
Recall selected.
than like with the crabs. So you do have to be like, you have to safeguard your guys. You know, you have to value them. But if you do, should be no problem. I think we can get another expansion here right fast.
Resource base warmed up and working.
We have been selected.
Enemy is building a resource base.
It's going to take a while.
Got a good line here. This seems pretty good. Honestly, I built a foundry. One of the tricky things about like having an army like this, where, you know, their whole gimmick is that they can retreat and be very defensive, is if I'm going hard into this, I kind of want to get like a bunch of units that also recalled like this. You know, because then if you don't do that, you're just left with a bunch of guys left at the previous battle. You know, so long as you're doing like the basic A-move strategy, so you know, there's like a disconnect there. I don't know. Maybe like for me, I need to invest in like the second tier of these guys. Or alternatively, just go all in.
Starting Starforge.
I'll get Starbase, Starforge, yeah, why not? This guy has gone right into anti-air, and I don't even have anti-air, so what the fuck? I think that might have been a real person.
Every win
I feel like the bot would not have conceded like that.
Release the boys.
You know what I'll say? Playing with them properly the way that they're meant to be played, it's kind of awkward dealing with their warp feature. And it's about if you don't have the rest of the army, like, strictly speaking, built around that. I still think it's better than not.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
How long does it take to get through this? We're like an hour in, and we've won like 5? I must be going slow or something, because, you know, games are pretty short here.
resource base warmed up and
I'm going heavy into resource bases here, and I'm going to go heavy into the queues, and
Enemy
ideally,
is building a resource base.
I'm gonna start building those because I don't need that many in like reserve. I don't need that much minerals in reserve to get the expansion on time. Like, as far as a starting up phase, this is it. You know, it's basically less than a minute, and you're already making important decisions as far as, like, am I going for a lot of tech real fast?
Multiple recalls.
What's the plan here? You know?
Enemy is building a resource base.
And the answer is yes. I'm going for a lot of bases. I'm just gonna mass recalls. Let's see how that works. Ideally, it'd be good if we had the recall that was also an anti-air, and then we could just have a massive army of that and deal with anti-air if it came. But, you know, like I said, it's so early.
We cover it. Leveling rifle. Hustling to location.
The anti-air guys are weak against non-anti-air, and the crabs kind of suck, so this is not a good matchup for him. In fact,
Resource base
build
warmed
another
up and
resource
working.
base, send the guys in. Oh, I guess the weakness with these guys is they're just very slow, so if they want to do something other than defend, it's going to take them a minute.
Recall attacking. Plasma fire.
But,
Resource base warmed up and working.
We are the pale green.
But yeah, you know, we got the numbers, we have better units, and also our units can, even though they're slow, just like pop over here. We got the resource game as well. Like, we have so much goddamn minerals.
This is for Venus. Watching for flanks.
Like, they just
Units under attack.
really can't do nothing. In fact, that was kind of a misplay right there.
Enemy
I can
is
get
building a
more and then
resource
just
base.
queue them in.
Here or there.
Okay, we have basically, I don't think we have like as much as we can do, but
Take a while.
we have more than we need.
Sinking fire. Shield jump. Arbitration of combat. Hustling to location. Establishing kill zone. We cover it. Full heat.
Yep, I'm kind of unfocusing my eyes and just letting it happen. Because, these guys just have it on lock.
Attack and attack and attack.
Good. Good. More games like that. I feel like we found the strategy
Victory.
for this phase of, like, the beta. In fact, you know, I feel like let's just say that this heavy ballista, it's sort of like an ultralisk, I think is the idea. Like, it's a short-range artillery unit. Or not a short-range artillery unit. I think it's like a big, tanky, bulky thing that, like, does an AoE attack in front of it. Which I think is this side, not this side. Exhaust, yeah, that's the backside. Which, should be interesting, but, since right now I just don't have a better unit to build around than the recall. I gotta go heavy on the recall. And if I'm going heavy on the recall, those guys, I don't know, not fast enough.
Enemy is building a resource base.
What am I doing? I'm not thinking, that's what I'm doing. Oh wow, I think I did F10. Is that like a chat thing? Oh, there's emotes. Oh, look at that, they added emotes. Well, I already fucked up. I'm gonna just do over.
Keep your head up. Bounce
I don't
back.
care that much. You know, like, there's no consequences here for losing anything, so we might as well just concede and start over, such that we build a base immediately, because that's the plan. That's the whole plan. That's my whole game plan here. Base.
Enemy
This is someone who's
building a
also...
resource base.
Plasma power here.
What the fuck? I was holding down Z. Oh, well. Now I have to, I think it'll be not F1. Now I have to concede again.
Keep your head up.
There's
Bounce back.
no point. There's no point. Let's just... We gotta get good at hitting Z before we hit Q. This is very important. Z first, then Q. In fact, you don't really need to Q until, like, you're ready to push out, but I like to. Really, there's no point in, like, doing an aggressive thing until you're, like, ready to actually commit.
Resource base warmed up and working.
Okay, cool.
Enemy is building a resource base.
I could build more right now.
Recalls online. We have been selected.
Just build some guys just in case.
Moving.
And, like, move them out to here, where my third base is gonna go, just as soon as it's ready.
Movement speed slow.
Resource base warmed up and working.
Okay. And now let's just, like, mass a whole lot of Q.
Enemy is building a resource base.
Recalls.
I guess the thing is here that they're also doing that. Perhaps. That likely to seems to be their strategy. If that's their strategy, then what do we do? Oh, wait. Oh, they have crabs in addition to the recall. Wait, no, the last guy had recall. This guy has crabs, okay. Right, no, I surrendered to the first guy, that's right. I forgot. I forgot this was not the same person.
Selected for greatness. Watching for flanks.
Let's send these guys across.
Leveling rifle.
And also get another
Resource base
expansion.
warmed up and working.
And we'll just
This for Venus. It's going to take a while.
kill this base.
Reprised and reprimed. Short job. We are the pale green. Hustling to location.
Alright, we took a swing at that, but
Enemy is building a resource base.
they had a lot of dudes, so we backed off.
Ready to march. Recall moving. Recall attacking.
I think we have this fight is be good for us.
Heavy infantry moving. Plasma fire.
Alright. Let's go take out this thing now. And meanwhile,
Resource
build
base
another
warmed
base.
up and working.
and build more Q.
Penetration of combat.
Maybe everyone is just like, maybe A, bots, but B, could also be everyone's just like, yeah, let's just go full on rush here.
Sinking fire.
Units in combat.
In defense of the lady. It's going to take a while. Short jog.
Let's advance from this base here with my massive crew.
Hustling to location.
And yeah, let's just go ahead and collapse in on the base.
Attack and attack and attack.
And I could even get more guys and rally them out.
Recalls.
Here comes the army that was not in the base. Sort of like pincered between these two groups, but they're weaker units. These guys are not supposed to be used against ground guys, and the crabs suck, so...
Reprised and reprimed.
Proving ground, I think, is just low-key kind of awkward just because A, is the like, suspicion of bots, and B, because the units they give you to start with kind of suck. You know, I'll say the air units that you start with, the anti-air unit that you start with, it doesn't suck, but it's an anti-air unit. And if you use it to not do, if you use it for anti-ground, you're gonna have a bad time. You know, this motherfucker here, the Hunter, it's not supposed to be good against, and it's not good against. It is not good against anyone on the ground. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. Air, yes. Ground, no. I guess the strategy that you have to have when dealing with, like, a bunch of low-level recalls is that, again, the way that it works is that splash things are strong against these guys. So, you know, you get some king crabs, you get some ballistas, you tech up rather than going for bases and expansions. That's like the ticket. I do think they should have let you skip. I'll say, for returning from people from the last beta, this extended tutorial basically where you only have like
Resource base warmed up and
where you only have one viable units for like a long time. I was like, king crabs are also great, but like you know, not when my viable unit is the recall. Build some of these and get them in a nice neutral position. Stay in neutral position. Just send them to where the next base is going. It'll be good and informative. Keeping an eye on my resources. Probably afford 2 more. It's gonna be close. If I can build my thing on time. Ooh, that was perfect. In fact. Feel like an attack is possible, except they're resource basing just as fast as we are, except a little bit slower, so I don't expect to see a big attack just yet. Ooh, hello. Okay, we survived, and also we have enough for another resource base and a whole bunch of dudes, which we will, a handful of dudes. It's really not that many, but we'll send them out here, and we'll, build another resource base.
It's going to take a while. Multiple recalls.
Units engaged.
Pull them back. I have all the bases that I can.
Penetration of combat. Short jog. Sinking fire.
So it is time now to, like,
Recall moving.
very carefully get, like, a whole bunch of dudes. You know what? Let's just, approach from the top here.
Hustling to location.
Approach their base from the top and get a few pot shots on it.
Establishing kill zone. Movement speed slow.
And yeah, just continue getting a whole bunch of guys.
Looking for weakness. Throw heat here or there. Heavy infantry moving.
And yeah, just build more guys. We have so much resources. Really, I can't spend them all.
Attack and attack and attack. We have been selected. It's going to take a while. Ready to march.
And now that that army has been dealt with, I'm just gonna march this way. Looks like there's something going that way, but I don't really think they can stand up to me.
Hustling to location.
In this situation, I think you tech. I think you need to tech instead of taking the third base. Instead of trying to match base for base here. But again, this is ridiculous because you have the worst units, or you're using the crab, so your units are not very good. I have so much money. And also, like, at this point, I'm not scared to lose my army because I'm floating so much red. Ooh, war credits. I got war credits. Does that mean I can get some more units? Or I cannot buy units until, like, perhaps 9 wins. Which would be the next win, for what it's worth.
Plasma power here.
Okay, I can buy some recall hunters. Oh, but... what the fuck is this? What the fuck is an ace point? Ace points are new. I don't know what ace points are. Use to purchase blueprints. Use to purchase unit blueprints. Earn with contracts and Warpath. That might be like a future monetization hook right there. I don't know. Let me think for 2 seconds. I think I can get something. No, these are 500. I can get some wasps, and wasps are okay. They're kind of like zerglings. They're really cheap, they're really fast, and you know, you could get like tons and tons of them really fast. If you're looking for something to do like a rush with, the wasp is your best bet. And also, like, literally low-key, you can afford enough to do a wasp rush and really take out their production, and then go right into an expansion, go right into like doing research, go right into like a more mid-game type play, which is, you know, you'd be surprised how easily a rush can transition to a mid-game, like an all-in rush essentially, when you just say like, okay, I guess I'll just not buy any more of these units and do something else with my money. Okay. And, you know, also, because you're not spending your energy, your gas, your floating gas, so at a certain point, like, getting 400 minerals, that's not hard at all. And once you do, you know, spend it on an expansion, and there you go. You've expanded. Or teched. You've teched. You started playing the long game at that point.
And 60.
Under tension.
Oh, some units are only available in the Warpath,
Union units.
which would be the Battle Pass system. Right. My understanding, I think, is how all premium rewards are free to claim during closed beta only. I'll say this whole monetization thing, they are probably thinking about whether this is good, whether this makes sense. I think they should do a lot of soul searching. People seem pretty upset about it. I would probably say that if you ask me, assume you asked me, like, if you ask me, I do think it makes sense to have some amount of, like, some amount of, like, slow burn, some sort of slow, like, introduction period. Maybe, like, 1 new unit per match. I'm gonna say 1 new unit per match. Then again, is that even enough? Right now, we just got a new unit, and we're not using it because it's not really to my taste, you know? I think some amount of, like, giving you a unit, it makes sense, but, like, doing it over the course of, like, days? I don't know. I guess the other thing that's worth mentioning, just of this fucking beta, just of this specific beta, is that this beta is a week and a half long, so there's not as much time as you'd like to get up to that later, those later units. Perhaps it was lucky that, like, when I got into the beta the first time, it was the end of the beta. I think I can build, like, 5? Not sure. It was the end of the beta, so, like, they had gotten to the point where they were like, okay, everyone gets all units, let's go, everyone gets all units. And maybe by the end of this beta, they will do the same thing. But, like, we'll see about that, I guess. I'm about to be able to afford another expansion. There we go.
This is for Venus.
If they tech into air, I have to kind of change all my plans. But they didn't. They're trying to match us. By the way, what do they have? This crap. Okay, good. A lot of people just... I'm reading this as real people because I believe if they were bots, they would have, like, occasionally would have...
Plasma firing. Multiple recalls.
There we go. To get all our guys here. Occasionally they would have, like, a different strategy and a different deck, and maybe using the recalls even a little bit.
For flanks.
I bet we're just running into people playing this for the first time, and they don't know how to change their units.
Sinking fire. Stepping.
I mean, the other thing is that I feel like we've seen different reactions to this sort of aggression.
Establishing kill.
Multiple different reactions here.
Hustling
No reason to push our advantage.
arbitration of combat. Foe heat.
Let's get another base and build as many guys as we can. In fact, let's move our guys over here and just, like, roll into the base. This is pretty straightforward. We're just running this same plan. I don't know why I'm afraid. Look at them. They went heavy into anti-air, but these are not air units, so...
Enemy is building a resource base.
I feel like people think these are Marines. I feel like new players are thinking, like, here's my, my frontliner, here's my Marine. And it's not like that at all. That said, I need to restock on my guys.
We are recall. It's going to take a while.
And I'm just, you know what, let's just play it safe here.
Recall attacking. Short jump. Plasma firing. Hustling to location. Movement speed slow.
They're even saying movement speed slow as if to just make you remember, like, yeah, that's their weakness there. Economy is what makes the difference here. We can literally afford to replace all our guys tenfold.
We have been selected.
I will say, this
Enemy
looks...
is building a resource base.
I feel like with the way that the units are just being doled out here, and that there's only one real good, like, early game unit for the first hour of the game, might make one think this is really straightforward. You just mass up on these and you do exactly this, and it basically beats the other two units that they could have early game. And that's true. But,
Victory.
eventually you get other early game units that are good. And also, like, if you were to invest in tech, you know, the flying guys, the butterflies, they would fuck us up. The king crabs, they would fuck us up. Neither of those would just destroy our whole plan. So we unlocked all game features, which is nice. That said, it's not, like, that meaningful, honestly. Because, like... Oh, we did...
A single shot.
When did we get these units? I don't remember getting these units. At some point, they gave us the Dragonfly... Oh, right, free-to-play units, that's right, okay. So Dragonfly
All established.
is, like the... Wait. Airship, air to ground, air to ground.
Professional ground cleaning.
Okay, they still got a very clear, a very clear, like, what's the word?
There's it good. Nor appreciate your purchase.
There's still some work to be done here. In particular, like, look at this. The airship, it costs 125 and takes 5 supply. It's an air unit that's small and shoots air and ground. Okay? And what's the Dragonfly? It's an air unit that costs 125, 5 supply. It's small and attacks air plus ground. What's the difference? There's no text that says. There's no text that says you can't try them out before you buy them, before you, like, invest your currency in them. This, needs to change. This needs addressing. Put, like, a paragraph here that says, like, hey, this guy's smaller and faster than... This guy's, like, a small, fast unit, and put text here that says, like, this one's, like, tanky and reliable. I'm assuming that's, like, the thing. I think these guys are faster. They used to have stats. The last beta, they had stats. I suppose they got rid of them because they were oversimplifying. But oversimplifying is better than having no information whatsoever. Sad. Sad change there. Improvements. Beta. It's a beta. Work to be done.
Fresh out of water.
All right.
Ooh, get the recall shocker. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Okay. We finally got a... With the recall shocker, there's a unit that we want to use with our recall regular.
I guess we are here.
We can also now get the gun bot and the missile bot.
Hoorah!
Those are 2 fun units. Honestly, wouldn't mind playing with those as a change of pace, but let's try recall shocker, having that be the addition.
Providing cover.
And geez, that's expensive. I would like to buy one of those as soon as I can. Also, you can see now we have now unlocked 2v2 and 1v1. And you know what I'll say? Technically, we're still in the... Technically, we are still in the proving grounds. We got 2 more proving grounds things to get over the next 3 wins. But we have unlocked the full game, and we have started looking at all the features thereof and talking about this. We got a quest system. We got, like, dailies here. Win matches, build units, kill things, build resource bases. Okay. We got, like, seasonal ones. I guess are, like, long-term goals. Okay, that's interesting. I think that's, like, a thing. I think that's how these games tend to do. They have, like, short-term goals and long-term goals. I haven't played Fortnite, but I know that there are, like, seasonal quests that people work towards. I think that's how it works. I don't know that I played any other games that have that as, like, that do anything beyond just a daily or things of that nature, you know, like a weekly. I don't think I play anything with, like, a weekly or a monthly or a seasonally thing. Unless, well, there's, like, laddering, and sometimes that resets, like in Marvel Snap, which I don't play actively anymore.
Cavalry ready.
We can also look at the warpath here, which is going to open after we get 3 more wins. We get the Knight, which is a new unit. It is a core unit, so you can have it from the start. So that, I think, is pretty cool, having a quote-unquote big unit that you can build without teching at all. I will say I think that they should experiment and do a lot of I want a lot of variety from them insofar as like how they use each tier and use each, like, use the different types of units that you can build. You know, a tier 1, a tier 2 core unit. You know, make sure that there's like a bunch of different core units that have a bunch of different applications that you can use. Let's see what else is here. And stuff like this is ideal, I think. You know, I would say that every genre should be represented on every tier. You know, if you want like a healing unit, if you want like a siege tank unit, you know, if you want like a, you know, obviously the core ones would be inferior versions, to be clear, and probably like more costly for their power, but I think it is very cool to give you the option of having one such unit from the jump for that like trade-off. Crossbow is one of the other new units that they've added. I worry a bit looking at this, right? Like, you know, they've said they're not sure what they're gonna do as far as like, oh, would it would make sense to have it be like, oh, you pay money, it just all unlocks up front versus you grind. And right now, if you look, the answer is like, oh, you have to pay money and grind, which I think is kind of a worst of all worlds, but I don't know. Let's keep playing here.
Flying high.
I think the Dragonfly in the original beta was better than the airship. So I think I want to equip that. And now have the advanced destroyer. An anti-big ground unit. Okay, that's like, I think this is like sort of a sniper. The heavy ballista. We also have the one of the new units here, the Gargantua. No, we'll pop that down. We'll equip that. It is a new unit after all.
You better be good. V101.
All works of the sky.
Let's look at this though real fast. Just think for a second. This one's advanced. They should put like a label to label which one is advanced, which one is not advanced. Especially in this case where it could be either one. This one's advanced, so we'd have to like upgrade twice. In the games that we've been playing, we've been having enough resources where that's not so infeasible. But also we're about to face like... We're still in Proving Grounds, I guess, and maybe that'll affect matchmaking, but we've unlocked all features, and I assume that people who have unlocked all the features fight against people who have unlocked all the features. I guess this is the more interesting Proving Grounds.
Resource base warmed up and working.
Also now we can start thinking about what the enemy has, and oh wow, the enemy actually seems to have like a bunch of stuff.
Building a resource base.
Like actual business. I'm getting a little worried. I'm a little worried that our like ground unit strategy make a bunch of bases. We're about to find the limits of that here. We need to start having a strategy that involves multiple I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna expand to 3.
Resource base warmed up
And build a bunch of dudes so that we're ready to defend if they come a-knockin'. But like,
Enemy
should
is
we
building
build a...
resource base.
Yes, I think...
In defense of the lady.
Let's send them in. Oop, see Daisy.
Movement speed slow. Is this your Venus?
Okay, good. Number games gives us the edge. And also we can build another resource base off that. But I don't think we can really attack off that, per se. Not with these numbers. I mean, maybe we just should. I guess it takes like 100 per these guys. Yeah, that's a bit.
Selected for greatness.
Let's get everyone on the same page here and push out. Also,
Enemy is building a resource base.
we have enough to get a resource base of our own, so let's do that.
Warmed up and working.
Probably have a pretty big army if they haven't been, like... I want the foundry. I want to get my advanced zappy guys.
Watching for flanks. Leveling rifle.
And I probably want to build more guys just in case they
Selected.
send their guys here, which they are. But we kind of outnumber them, so it's good. Those guys, they blink, I think, is their thing. And those are the anti-air version of the blinkers. Why are they... You know, we're still facing people who haven't maybe played, haven't really been thinking about the game, maybe haven't watched any esports. They don't know that the anti-air versions of units are weaker, and you shouldn't use them unless you're facing down air, which they're not.
Ready to march. Hustling to location.
Gonna just retreat here.
Foundry ready. Enemy is building a resource base.
Build a bunch of these guys, and
Ready to cover.
let's just get all these guys out there, and yeah,
Don't
sort of
run.
move them out. I
Belly
think these
shot.
guys are like artilleries.
Full firing cycle.
These guys are artilleries, but they can recall. Ooh, this is pretty savage. This is pretty brutal right here.
Ready.
Yeah, they're just sort of melting.
Mark the armies.
I can get more of everything,
Assemble.
and
Firing non-stop.
get those guys in here and
Engine
take
prime.
care of business. And meanwhile,
Bastion of
guys could just head over here, in fact, and
Units
kill this thing.
reporting damage.
But even that is, like, not needed. That's pretty good. I like that addition to my bad strategy. The fuck is this? Is this matchmaking points? We got matchmaking points.
Set to aggressive.
This is a whole screen. Progress on my quests, then. Alright. I wonder if these refresh, because, like, five matches as a seasonal quest, that doesn't seem like very many. 10, also not very many. These seem like they'll be over in 5 matches. Which I think would be weird. Though, this beta is only a week and a half, so maybe that makes sense. Let's keep going. I'm happy to keep on plugging with that strategy. I'll say, during the first beta, I missed out on using those guys. That said, you know, someone more skilled with me can integrate those guys more into an army and have that be like, oh, I got my massive death ball of recalls, but also I got some, you know, some, like, faster guys that are darting around the map to join them. Or, like, flying guys who are also fast.
Resource base warmed up and working.
Or the skill here, long term, might just be, like, being attentive and on that Z key. Everyone wants to make a base first thing.
This is for Venus. Recall moving.
We got the warpy guys, the teleporty guys, the blinky guys. They're like zealots, or not zealots, stalkers in StarCraft, I think is the idea.
Selected. We cover it.
Getting ready to expand again, and now.
Enemy is building a resource base.
And they're doing the same, so I think let's make sure that we're ready to face them if they come a knocking.
Watching for flanks.
And indeed, here they come.
Kill zone.
Looks like they're going for the other base.
In defense of the lady. Here or there, fall heat. It's going to take a while. Stepping.
Interesting. Okay, they're like
Arbitration of
using a little bit of like micromanagement here to like split up their dudes and like challenge me on multiple fronts, which is forcing me to split up my dudes, even though I'm like a massive ball here.
are the pale green. Movement speed slow. Striking forward.
Is everyone pale green to start with? I think there's like some sort of cosmetic thing here.
Short jaw. Leveling rifle. Heavy infantry moving.
Enemy is building a enemy tech is turning on. Be ready. Resource base warmed up.
I need to do my own tech. Foundry and
Resource base warmed up.
to
Units
another
in
resource
combat.
base. Do a warp here.
Watching for flanks. Call attacking.
Enemy is building a resource base.
Yeah, this is difficult for me to deal with just because whenever they come, they are backing off and going somewhere else.
You
So,
got a resource
I'm
base
just gonna
taking
have to,
fire.
like, do
Cover
the
it.
same.
Plasma fire.
Exposed
Go for a
rear.
trade here.
Workers down. You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it.
Now they're taking out this one.
Resource base destroyed.
Super hot.
Resource base warmed up and working.
Ready to march. We cover it.
Foundry ready.
Okay, let's get those W's out.
You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it. Workers getting flanked.
Together now.
Your resource base is gone.
Waddling. Gun is rotating. We can
You got a
defend.
resource base taking fire. Cover
Ah, and there's our weakness also. Is air guys. We got no answers to air.
it. You got a resource
We got a,
base destroyed.
Wait, wasn't F1? Oh, F3 is concede. There we go.
Keep your head up and bounce back.
Airs are our Achilles heel with this silly deck. They start getting air, it doesn't work. Well, hey, we've been shown the error of our ways and why that doesn't work long term, which is how to counter that strategy that seems so strong faced against inferior units, which is like, okay, they can defend any base the recalls can defend any base, but they can't defend all the bases. And as soon as they teleport over, just go somewhere else. And, you know, they'll follow you, but they can't be everywhere at once. To that end, I think it's time now to, let's change the strategy. Let's go with the gun bots. And the, you know what, I should have switched out for the missile bot anyway, because the missile bot is like a better unit. These guys, they sort of have like a stim. They have like a stim ability that allows them to increase their move speed and attack speed. So that's pretty good.
The sun.
You know, I think Ballista and Shocker might be on the same level, basically.
Another battlefield. Ammo is
But I'm gonna assume that Ballista has something going for it if it's the same price and everything as the other one. Again, need more in-game information.
G1.
This is interesting.
Let's hunt.
CR3.
Enemy air spotted.
Hang on. Curious here. What's going on with that?
Our
The
altitude.
On
If I were to equip the crabs and re-equip the gun bot. Okay, so you can move around. Okay, you can move around the abilities. I was wondering, since it was on Q, if like, or on W, if it like went there for a reason.
Recalls online.
Senkashu?
Many kills.
I think the Advanced Destroyer is better than the Bulwark. For my money. It's like a big sniper unit. It's deals real good with like long distance as well. I'm pretty sure there's another one that's like really long distance. I forget. And they don't say here. The sniper, I think the sniper maybe. The sniper and that one are weird because I think they're both long distance. The sniper is like an AoE long distance, whereas like the Advanced Destroyer is a single target. I would switch those around. I think a sniper is generally single targets and like more of a bazooka thing. That's the other thing. That's the other way. Let's give this a go. You know, the other thing to consider as far as like that sort of deck goes, where you're just like heavy into one thing, heavy into recall, is that there is the possibility of 2v2. 2v2 is pretty good.
Standing ground. Hurry up and wait. Better cover.
Okay, what do we want for tech? What do they have? Got basically a lot of the same things we do. Basically the same, except they have the Bulwark instead of another different type of ship.
Starting foundry.
I want Foundry. And so do they. Okay. I feel like against, like, missile bots, going air is a bad idea. Maybe this is silly because, like, of course, everyone is going to have anti-air. And once they have a good anti-air, they're going to have the good anti-air, not the bad anti-air. Air definitely has a place, but I'm going to be a little bit wary about committing to it right away.
Enemy is building a resource base. Resource base.
I'll build one
warmed up
too.
and working.
Get at it. Viking. Charging.
Okay, ooh, hey. I need to get my guys over there.
Bound and cover.
Kinda low-key, not enough of them.
Calculating grid.
Foundry ready.
Kill.
Foundry is ready, let's get some R's. Let's get some, I'm hitting the R key. I saved the resource base, which is good.
King crab select.
Get some king crabs going. And let's push our advantage, I guess. Even if it's just a limited time thing. We got king crabs in front, and I'm gonna focus fire his king crabs. Maybe this guy doesn't know about focus fires, and it's just gonna wonder how his dudes all melted.
Position. Laying down fire.
Meanwhile, let's get some more of those, and keep this guy on 2 base. Let's keep this guy on 2 base right here.
Enemy is building a resource base.
Shuffle, hustle, go. Face to face.
Okay, pull back. Just focus on the base for now.
Moving into main.
And now we can afford some air. I'd like to get some air.
Saws up.
There we go. Hey. They saw which way the wind was blowing.
Every win is earned. Bravo.
We're starting to have some fun games here, I'll say. Starting to have some back and forths. Not that, like, I'm sort of picturing like a bum fight. Not like not like the bum fight of like, here's my crabs, here's your crabs. Oh, you're using anti-air for the purposes of ranged units? Okay, that's not good, but let's fight it out and see what happens. We're finally past that phase, and finally to people using actual units, and it's getting good.
Nice.
Hell yeah, unionizing is good. I love it too. I guess you start at 0 for that battle pass. One more and we're out of proving grounds, though technically, really, materially, what is there to gain that we haven't already gained, I suppose.
Enemy is building a resource base.
What do we got here? Ooh, it's crabs and the weaklings. This is well in favor of us, the way it's looking. Okay, I think we got
G1, Morel,
we got a soft target.
go, go, go.
And I'm just gonna expand as soon as I get 400. That's the only thought in my head right now. The only thing that I'm meaning to do. I'm going to expand. I'm going to protect my expansion. If we had lost the expansion early game last game, I think we would have lost. I think that would have been really hard to recover from.
Infantry unit hit.
Enemy tech is turning
Like, when you
on.
invested in expansion and it gets destroyed, you know, that was money you could have spent on getting the advanced units, you know.
One in the chamber.
Okay, so the AoE stuff is coming online. But that means less anti-air. I think what I want to do here...
Starting Starforge.
Let's get the Starforge here. And hopefully use some micro.
Hurry up and wait.
Those are our guys, right?
Leg actuators active.
Yes. I feel like everyone is green right now.
Scanning. Viking. Charging.
You know, we have economy on our side.
Resource base warmed up and
Robotic
working.
infantry.
Let's get another resource base.
Get at it.
He now has AoE guys, which is not good for us, but also, like, we have plenty of money ready to begin, like, getting some, we want to get some butterflies that he's not going to be able to deal with. And they are also anti-big.
Starforge is ready.
These guys big? No, these guys are just splash. So, to counter splash... What do you use to counter splash? Big? Big.
Circling. Catching a gun. From above. Woo! We made it. Time to kill. We got him.
Yeah, okay, you really need to use the circle, because these guys, you know, you think they would have enough of an advantage to, destroy, but... And, you know, maybe I just need to be like... Here, just enough guys to... You know what? Just hitting Q and holding that down and making, like, a whole bunch of guys. That was kind of enough to hold that off, actually. I thought I was dead there, but I just built, like... 500 guys, and that killed the whole push right away. It's so cool that you can do that in this game. It's so cool. Don't push in prematurely, I guess, is the lesson there. Probably start by getting them down to one base and taking, like, a bigger advantage than just, oh, I have more dudes than you. I have more army. Well, if I have money, I can have an instant army. If I need it. And I needed it. You're not out. so long as you have money. Ooh.
All away.
Well, we're out of the proving grounds, I guess. We're now in season 1, but also, you know, as I'm realizing this is that since the battle pass has already been opened since the middle of proving grounds, and the whole game has been open since the middle of proving grounds, there's really nothing that we per se unlocked at this point in the stream. We've been going for like 2 hours. So it's not like this is like a major moment, unless we now go over and do some 2v2, which, yes, let's do that. I also have resource now. I have 100. I have enough to afford the second recall thing if I wanted to, but I'm liking this deck that I got right now with the matching. Let's try in 2v2. Let's try the blink guys, and then we can try for like being the person in the 2v2 that just goes for a whole lot of recalls, including the recalls that can shoot up, and having that be our entire strategy.
Enemy is resource base 1. Your buddy just called in a resource base.
Standing side by side. Engine idling. Location loading.
Alright, so this mode, is pretty similar to the other mode, insofar as, meant to make more cues.
Teleported. One in the chamber.
Insofar as, but now you have 2 people, so you can have, you know, there's twice as many units potentially if you were to coordinate and not overlap with your partner. Not that anyone has enough units unlocked right now.
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
Okay, we probably need to get enemy tech. What are they getting? They're all getting these guys. That is big. Let's think for a second. This is big.
Workers,
This is
workers.
Gunboats ready. Go, go, go. Full auto.
we want.
Enemy is building a restarting foundry. Your buddy just called.
I'm gonna start my foundry. And let me take another resource base. We are definitely not doing a good job here. We are being very slow to react and spending too much time thinking when we need to be sending huge armies into the thick of things.
Gunboats attacking. Robotic infantry.
Fortunately, we don't need to invest in any air, any anti-air, since they're not going for air yet. But still at a bit of a disadvantage here. We can afford another.
Leg actuators activated.
This is bold, I know, but
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
Fighting. Charging. Rounds on target.
Foundry ready.
Found and cover.
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
okay. So let's. Oh no. Our problem is crabs, I feel like.
Your resource base is gone.
So we should have gone with the air guys, I
You've got a
guess.
resource space taking fire. Cover it.
In gear.
Yeah,
You've got
clearly
a
I'm.
resource space warmed up.
Yeah, let's concede. This one.
Keep your head up and bounce back.
I struggled to know, like, with the units we had, what I was supposed to be doing. And, like, you know,
Heavy Union certified.
once they get, like, the unit that counters it, you know, once they get, you know, say our small army, right? Once they get the crabs, it's like, you might as well not have those units. So you need something that counters the crabs. That would either be like something that can stand between... I think... First off, by the way, small note, they should add, like, deck slots. So you can make different ones. Oh, looks like we got the, that fella. Be interesting to get a big. But I think right now I want to try... I want to try that all recall strategy and pair up my recall dudes with recall hunters. I think that sounds like an idea. And I'll put in the recall shockers, and like everything else doesn't matter. And I think that like the limits of this deck have been proven pretty clearly, like with better units and like a little bit of just, oh, you're over here, I'll attack over there. This deck doesn't really fly quite as well, but I'm thinking for 2v2, maybe its weaknesses will be offset by having a partner. Let's see, let's find out. I'll say, on the topic of, like, units,
Resource base warmed up and working.
an interesting thing about, like, this game, as far as the Reddit... Let me try to say this in a way that makes sense and is cogent. People on the Reddit for this game, have been complaining. What else is new? But they've been complaining specifically. I saw someone saying, like, oh, they gave the streamers... They gave streamers of the game, you know, early access to like, fully unlocked status, right? They didn't have to unlock shit. They just got it out of the box. Which, I would agree, that's a little bit weird, that, like, if you consider streamers to be like reviewers, to be like media people, it is weird to give them what I suppose you are admitting is a better experience for free. They're going for anti-air, by the way, so I should get some air guys in my posse. I'll add a few, though it is a bit expensive. Though, hey, it's not expensive as far as the red goes. Definitely slowing my other things by getting my dudes ready for responding. I want to get the tech and get the shockers up, so I'm gonna wait until I'm 400, and hit the button. Get some more guys while I'm at it. How come? Oh, it's somehow on. It ended up on W. That's unfortunate that like the hotkeys can get screwed up in that way. I saw people giving that feedback that like muscle memory wise it's weird. And I didn't really, like, 100% agree with it, but now that I'm having the experience of my button on a different hotkey, I can say, like, oh yeah, it's definitely a bit strange.
Units engaged.
Right, it's W. Jesus, those guys, they kill things so fast. W, that's right.
Foundry ready.
Dear Lord.
We are coming.
Tab. WWWWQQQQQQ.
Next order.
W. Teleport in.
Firing.
We also probably need to include some guys that can shoot up in our mix. So let's just get as many A's as we can, and then some G, some Q's, and then...
Warm up for Venus.
Okay. Whew.
Resource base warmed up and
Don't
working.
speak of ghosts. Bellies up. We can get them.
You got a resource base taking fire. Cover it. Units reporting damage.
Okay.
Your resource
Yeah,
base
no,
is-
those guys.
Workers getting
We
flanked.
got...
Slow and steady.
Enemy is building a resource base. Enemy is building a resource
Okay, yeah,
base.
so...
Workers under attack.
Raining
Right now, we're just finding ourselves on the back foot.
Recall engine
And also, we have no
Just in case.
production. We're multiple bases
Getting
behind.
over. They won't like plasma.
Aerial hunt.
Location is
The
covered.
best I can do is build as big a force as I can, and hopefully push out with them.
Recall shockers selected. Modeling.
But we're gonna have trouble with their air.
Plasma cannon firing. Recall shockers moving.
Like right now, I can get like 5 more, which isn't very many.
Workers.
Full firing cycle. Okay. Don't cry.
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
Like, we can't win like this. Is something that's worth noting, right? Like, we can't win just entirely on the back foot.
Ready to cover.
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
Like, here's the best I can do, which is move my guys into this
Exposed
base down
rear.
here.
Workers down.
Mark the armies. Hut. Recall shockers attacking.
And take out this base, but I don't even know if this is really going to do it for us.
Recall engine prime.
They probably have enough resources where they can really afford to just
Over.
get a new one.
Bastion of Venus.
The bizarre thing here is just like we just all have enough resources to just continually field armies.
Workers getting flanked.
Mark the armies. Recall shockers moving.
Shuffle.
Those are the big boys.
Base taking fire. Workers under attack.
Firing non-stop.
I think I ran out of the...
Workers.
Base. Okay.
I think we ran out of our dudes, and also we ran out of the anti-airs. In that battle there,
Enemy tech is turning on. Be ready.
and they just keep on teching up.
We can't defend. Okay. Slow and steady. Don't speak of ghosts.
Yeah, they got anti-air. They got... No, those are the destroyers. They're just... We can't get in and like, deal with these guys. They're too far in. No, we gotta concede here. There's no two ways about it.
Keep your head up and bounce back.
2v2 is proving to be tougher so far than the 1v1. I mean, on some level, you have to deal with twice as many enemies and twice as many army, and you know, if there's never a moment to breathe and relax in the 1v1, there's even less time to relax in the 2v2.
I guess we are here.
I think we're finding that the recall... Here's the thing about the recall in, like, a big 2v2. the army is not intimidating enough when it arrives alone, and when it retreats by itself, it could be facing up with 2 armies, rather than just the one. So, not really doing it. But, I'm curious about the knight. The big knight, I think that offers, like, an interesting, other choice. An interesting contrast to, like, the usual. You know, the other guy will go with a usual unit, and we'll have a big that will, what is the big deal with? Splash. We'll have something that does anti-splash. And if we have something that deals with splash, what can we do? Well, we could have a lot of little guys, which I think we're explicitly saying we're not going to have because we're picking a knight over a, thing. How much anti-air do we have, like, access to another anti-air on like, this?
Heavy units.
I guess even, wait, what?
All right. I am here.
We could get a heavy hunter for this, tier. If we wanted to just make sure, like, okay, well, let's say we gave up our anti-air. Okay, let's say we said, like, okay, and this is something you can do. We can say, like, okay, we're gonna get this, we're gonna have this gun bot.
Side by side.
Mark 15.
And we're also gonna have as our second, the knight. And no anti-air.
Armor is pride.
And we'll switch out that because we're not gonna have recall. We haven't used the Gargantua at all on account of we haven't teched up to level 2 yet. In this one, or even in this one, neither. Cool. Let's do more 2v2. Okay. New 2v2 deck, let's go. Ugh. There's something. Oh, that's just the chair. That's the chair's armrest. I was wondering what that was. If there was something like visible, but it's funny because it's just black and reflective. Doesn't really look like much, but it is my very nice Steel Series chair, which is very nice. I'll say at this point, where with the units that we have, there are decisions to be made. For a beta that is a week and a half long, and a beta where I have messed around with most of the units before, it is kind of a shame that we can't just start with like more of them. You know, I think a faster ramp up would be better, but I'm having a good time. Let's look at like units that I want. Look at units that I want here.
Standing proud.
The sun's
So these ones are like the melee units here, the Scorpion and the Wasp.
sharped.
Those are both really good for aggressive play. The Scorpion is like your better version of the Crab. It's cheaper and has the same supply, and last I checked, it's pretty much similar in terms of power as well.
And your buddy just called in a resource base.
I say last I
Resource
checked.
warmed up and
I remember it being about the same in the last beta, which could be outdated for mine. Maybe they buffed the Crab. What do we want to do here? Looks like we're already doing some engagements, so I'm just gonna
Calculating.
send my guys in. And how much does the knight cost? Just minerals. Interesting.
Location. Loading.
Enemy tech is turning on.
Okay.
Be ready.
What are they getting? Ground.
Starting.
Let me get a Starforge. Okay. Get another knight.
One in the chamber.
Uh-oh. Looks like there's a fight going on there. Right. Those guys, they can come in just, like, huge fucking swarms. They are so cheap, They're so cheap, those guys.
Enemy tech is turning on. Enemy is building a resource base. Resource base warmed up and working.
I want to expand here.
Hurry up and wait. Covering ground.
Your buddy just called in a resource.
So, I guess what we need here is Splash. Given how, like, swarmy these guys are. This guy's also running knights. We need Splash. I mean, butterflies.
Workers down.
About the best I can do right now.
Up and away. Hitting them hard. Through the clouds.
It is very hard in this game to deal with rushes.
Taking fire. Cover.
And I think that is something that, you know, when you're playing, you might be like, oh god, I feel like trash, I feel like garbage. Like, they just hit Q a bunch of times and sent like 100 little swarmy guys to kill all my workers. And that is what happened. But I'll say, for anyone who wants like a morale boost after that happening to them, I have watched esports matches by the top players, you know? Oh fuck, they got air. Now I regret not going with the firefly. Or the dragonfly rather than the butterfly.
Workers getting flanked.
Side by side.
Where are my buddies? Fresh breeze.
I have seen pro matches where that just happens, and you know, even the pros could just struggle to deal with it as far as like, yeah, they don't have the units built, they don't have this, they don't have that. I don't got anti-air in my posse. Oh right, I don't have anti-air. I only got the. That's right. I was so smart on that idea of going with Right. I forgot about my decision, my tech choices.
Air power.
Now all my anti-air is really expensive,
Units in combat. Workers.
and it's really hard to get like a significant amount of it. Also, it's not really good at dealing with
Workers down.
these big guys anyway, which is our main problem.
Resource base destroyed. Workers getting flanked.
Yeah, there's I've already given up, honestly, at this point.
Keep your head up and bounce back.
We need to think. We need to have good. I feel like the lesson there is that unless you're coordinating with the person, you gotta have like an actual balanced deck, A. And B, you gotta have an actual balanced deck because
All away.
you have to. If you have all mineral guys, you're gonna run out of minerals and not be able to spend your gas, which isn't good. So that's bad that when you can't do that. So
Nice. We can do it.
I feel like the knight. Maybe this is obvious considering that they are on tier 0 and all core tier. But I feel like you're giving up a lot to have it so that you can have those weapon triangle that you can have an advantage against Splash, which is not something you face in the early game anyway. Right now, there's just so few choices that, like... I think you go with missile bots or some other sort of anti-air on your base, and you go for crabs. Or maybe you coordinate with your teammate, and whatever they don't go for, you go for. I gotta win one. I gotta win one here. Then I would like to go back to the 1 versus 1, I think. I assume there's a ranking system on 2 versus 2, too. 2 versus 2 as well. Also, wait, were there just 3 options there? 2 versus AI and the 2 competitive ones?
Your buddy just called in a resource base. Resource base warmed up
Click
and
there.
working.
Ready? Ready. Define range.
Okay.
For Mars.
Mobile battery selected.
Let's see if this is a good idea. I feel like this would have to be the way that you play it.
Units.
I don't know. Maybe there's eventually stuff where, you know, maybe this is the unit for like a long-term play. You know, like a 1 base, tech all in, or maybe not tech all in, but like something of that sort where you are
Workers under
teching
attack.
earlier.
Location.
Like here,
Enemy
okay.
tech is turning on. Be ready.
An equal amount of crabs and knights.
Enemy
Who
opponent
wins?
just called in a resource base.
Crabs win? What are knights good for if they can't beat crabs in a one-on-one fight? Am I missing something here?
New formation.
It's like twice as expensive as any crab.
Picking up speed.
So they should be... They should be,
Resource base
like,
warmed up and
powerful. Also, I am just, like, using up all my minerals, so that's fun. They're going for some air tech, so I'm gonna get some of that.
Slot. Better spot. Everyone, fire. Recalculating. Over.
Those guys are going after the base. I'm gonna leave that to this guy. He's a little more mobile than I am.
workers.
Not yet.
And, I want to get... What's he getting? He's getting the
Your buddy
air.
just called in
So
a
I'll get,
restarting foundry.
I'll get that. What, I'll get a resource base as well. If he's
warmed
getting
up
it,
and working.
he's gonna want to defend it.
Loading firing solution. Missile bots moving. Left.
At the very least, I'm less...
Exposed rear. Workers down. Units engaged. You got a
I guess the knights are really good against these guys.
Cover it. Workers
And
ready flank.
certainly it seems like their splash guys are having a lot less luck than they normally would.
Amazing location.
Enemy
But they
tech
still
is
were able to
turning
do a
on.
bunch of damage and escape unscathed. Like, I would call that a pretty good trade, honestly.
Is it time?
Then again, we are up 2 bases.
Elevation.
And our buddy is handling, like, defense decently okay.
Foundry ready. Workers under attack. Enemy is building a resource base.
Interesting with these like guys as like tanks to be used. Do you need like do you need the king crabs in front?
Exposed
Let's find
rear.
out.
Workers down.
Shuffle, bustle, go! Just sad.
Interesting. Okay, so
March of the king.
this fight is going okay, and we have enough resources where I can just re-army. We need some anti-air now. That's what we need. Actually, we do need to invest in anti-air as well.
Fresh crabs! Form up.
This looks bad, but we're ahead in like economy. And we just took out their base.
Your buddy just called in a resource base.
Saws up. Face to face. Moving into me.
Flyer's getting flanked.
I'm spending all my resources on like anti-air, which means I'm not teching into. Let's get tech into gargantuas. Okay, we gotta see these gargantuas. I mean, I say that we might. This might be over by the time they come out, but. In fact, there we go. What the fuck? Alright, we finally got a win in 2v2.
Victory.
The key was complimenting our partner and, you know, a little bit of, like the tiniest bit of coordination. Not even that much, really. Jeez, it takes a lot of game. Okay, I think what I heard must have had to do with the warpath, which is like, you can kind of see here, excruciatingly slow. Like, we've been playing for a while, and we're on level 2. And what is coming up is... Here's what's coming up after we play for another couple of hours here. We'll get 80 war credits. For context, 80 war credits can buy, like, a fifth of a unit. So, that reward is a fifth of a unit. The math there doesn't check out. Sorry. If it's gonna be this long between levels, it needs to basically be, here's enough for a unit. It needs to be like 400 minimum, which can get you like the cheapest units in the game, I think. Let me see.
Primed and ready. F300.
See. Oh, 300 is the cheapest unit you can get. I should check before I say that.
Heavy Union certified.
Let's see now. 500, 500, 700, 400. 400 seems like
Looking towards the horizon.
200. The blink is 200 there. So 200 is the cheapest thing you can get. I should say I don't know that, but I believe that's true.
Raiders, ready to run.
We're safe.
I'd be surprised if there was like something that was 100 hidden in here somewhere. I'd like to do a little more 1 versus 1. Let's sign for a little more 1 versus 1. I got a win in 2 versus 2. I am satisfied in 2 versus 2 for now. Let's see now. I'll say, like, so far, we have never gotten to the point in the game where level 2 tech comes online is relevant. So I'm not, like, really rushing to do some level 2 tech stuff. Honestly, like, and like, to buy those is such a bigger investment. I'll say in the pro matches I've seen, when it comes to, like, breaking through a stalemate, that level 2 stuff can be the game changer, but also, you know, it's just so expensive to get into, especially because once you have your tech, you are probably using a lot of your blue to build a whole bunch of whatever it is you tech towards. You know, you're building a bunch of crabs, you're building a bunch of gargantuas, maybe you're expanding. What exactly would I want to use? Hey, before we go into the 1 versus 1, let's, like, go over the units. Let's just look here and think, what do I want? Other than to play more recall, which seems fun, albeit weaker than I expected. Or rather, you have to still have skill and maybe have it be part of a deck rather than the whole plan. And probably have something else that blinks. That recalls. So, the Scorpion and the Wasp, those are high up on my list. These two are melee units. One is like a Zergling, the other is just like your best standard melee unit. It's cheap. Both of them are cheap. One of them will just come at you in huge swarms, but is really destructible. One is beefier, but, you know, it's harder to get a critical mass of them. The beetle. I don't know what you'd use the beetle for. I think the beetle is just like a more all-roundery version of like the hunter. It's the same price, so
Hunters.
it's unclear to me like what the trade-offs here because it doesn't fucking tell you. Let this be a lesson to you, please. You gotta put something on there so I know what I'm looking at here. Trade-offs, information, whatever. I understand that speed can be relative and, you know, a power stat would have to be bigger for, like, the more expensive units on the higher tiers, but I need to know, is this a fast unit? Is this a hefty unit? Or tier 0? What's the deal? I think this is... I bet it's more defensive and maybe a little more balanced as far as ground and sky. So if you want something like sort of in between, like not quite aggressively anti-air, but like somewhat anti-air. The Hornet is like the the Hornet is like the Wasp. It's like a Zergling except it shoots at a distance and it shoots anti-air. And I think that might low-key make it the best like well actually hang on. I'm just noticing something. They've changed. I think in the last beta, the Hornet was a one supply and like 25-25, similar to the Wasp. But now it costs equal to a Blink Hunter. So it's not like doesn't have the same upside. It's just sort of flattened a little bit. I'll say I think that balance changes that aim to flatten the interesting differences between units in the same category, I think generally makes for units that are just less interesting. You know, the challenge in balance is making this very exciting, very powerful unit that can swarm you and shoot at range as compelling as this Blinky unit. And I don't know how you do that, honestly. I guess their solution is just make this one more like this one. More in line. And the crossbow is just like the knight, but it can shoot up.
Superior size.
So let's see. In the Foundry, the Crusader... Wait, isn't... I think the Crusader is like a melee unit. It's like a melee unit that is big and tanky and can hit one thing at once. And there's another one that's sort of like in the Advanced Foundry, the Heavy Ballista. Is that ranged? Does it have a ranged attack? I don't know. I thought this was like an Ultralisk, but maybe it's not like an Ultralisk. Maybe it shoots a projectile. Maybe this Crusader is your Ultralisk. Which, that's pretty cool. Wouldn't mind that.
Come on in, boys.
Difference between these ones is that this one is for your, like... It like, just wipes out a crowd. Whereas this one is like your anti-King Crab unit. You know, it'll win the 1v1 versus the King Crab. And if your front line is made of these and their front line is made of these, you win. So long as you have a front line. Bombers or banelings.
Area attacker.
Heavy tank ready.
I'm curious about the Crusader as like an alternative to the King Crab. I'm not that curious though.
Isn't it exciting?
I think the Shocker is a strictly better ballista. I guess these, if the ballista is ranged, this must be ranged as well.
Heavy ballistas.
Forming batteries.
Recall Shocker we already saw. The Mortar is sort of like your siege tank. It sets up. I think the Mortar is like the prestige defense unit. The prestige, the main defensive unit in the game. Also, it can be used to create a hellscape of just like overlapping firing ranges that are just hard to pierce through, which is pretty cool. I've seen that a lot in like esports. Swift Shocker. I guess this is like a fast... Is this like a Hellion? No, there is a Hellion type. But this is just the Shocker, but it moves fast. Okay. Has like an AoE. This is shoots air. This is a sniper, but a sniper unit against one. The Raider is your Hellion, but not as good. I don't think anyone plays that. And turret is also defensive, and I believe it shoots up. No, it only shoots ground, but you have to pay a premium for it, and it can't move. I think they were talking about making changes to this. I don't know what they ended up doing in the end, though, because it's the same price as the Mortar, and it still can't be moved. Still can't be moved. Still is restrained to being around the core and stuff. Maybe this was part of their... They're both splash, so they both have the same, like, advantage against small things. Not sure what they did there. Gargantua is, like, a big, reliable dude that can shoot up and down.
Mobile attack.
This is similar, but it can recall, or no, this blinks.
Very good shot.
A sniper does splash at a long distance. Assault bot is like a gun bot, but big and tanky. And also, I think they changed some stuff about this. I think the original assault bots originally could shoot up. Was a thing that I honestly think it's kind of boring now, more boring. This is interesting insofar as like it's a late game thing that doesn't use any gas, so you can build up to it, and then you can be like, oh, I'm making a billion assault bots, and it's not taking any of my gas away, so I can use it on other things. But also, it can't shoot up anymore, so it's not really that powerful. There's not like another one that's like that in the... Maybe there's one in the Starship. I guess this one shoots up, but it costs gas. This pair... You know what? This pair might have already been there. I'm probably thinking of another unit. Let's look in the thing. And the Behemoth, I don't know what this... How this is different from Gargantua. Gargantua takes double the supply and takes energy. This is only minerals. By the way, I'll say I'm dealing with some shit on my Windows PC right now. I'm dealing with some crap where after doing an update to fix an issue that I was having, Windows seems to have lost its product key, and I currently have a thing on screen that appears after a line of my computer being online that says, like, activate Windows, go to settings. Fortunately, it looks like OBS is not capturing that shit, nor is it broadcasting it. But I will say, in this corner here, I see a little annoying thing on my monitor here that says activate Windows, and that is insufferable. I guess I know now that during the viewer level stream tomorrow I won't be able to see it. It won't be able to irritate me, but I called them up. I contacted them on Twitter because that was the best way I could find to get in touch with Microsoft support, for fuck's sake. But they said, like, yeah, it seems like a known issue. You probably need to have them call you at a random time. You know, I tried that, but I tried that once, but they called me while I was in the shower. Which, you know, it was like 3 hours later, and I was like, okay, I feel like you calling me at like 10 o'clock. I could have been asleep at this point if I had a normal sleep. I know, I'm
Checking atmosphere.
These guys move real slow, and they take care of business real good. This is a recall that is really good. That is like an advanced recall. You know... Oh, but these guys don't shoot up, so they're like a better recall, but you're still going to have to deal with ground types. I bet the advanced recall is better than the advanced recall is probably better than the lizards, honestly. I mean, that said, they are small, so they are still weak to all the same thing as your giant horde of regular recalls are weak to. Do they even add anything to your army for the cost? They just are a way to spend minerals, which you could spend on lizards that are, like, an interesting complement. And deal with, like, small units like nobody's business.
My superiority.
I think this is like a Thor.
Here we go.
This is like a... What's the one in StarCraft that looks like that? A Raven? No, not a Raven. I'm thinking of not the Hellions, but the other ones. Not the Diamond. Kind of looks like a Diamondback. I don't know what this thing's deal is. I think I think the Stingers are like really fast is their thing. They're really fast and they have a lot of power to them. So like added to an army that is already very fast. I remember there being a build. You know, speaking of things that I cannot play with right now because I don't have access to multiple things. I remember there being a build that was like Wasps and Hornets, and you get a lot of Wasps and Hornets and stuff for shooting up, and then you complement it in the mid-game by by going for Starforge and adding a bunch of like
Butterflies.
adding a bunch of the stingers that go really fast and you know go as fast as the other units that you are playing with, but also have like a surprising amount of kill power. I wonder if they still do, because they are marked as small now, not like anti-big or like splash or big. So they're gonna have an inherent weakness against splash, and also inherent weakness against like inherently not be as strong as the actual answer for like big or anti or splash or you name it. I remember the cat bus being slow but powerful. The locust, I don't remember. What's the deal with the locust? It's cheap. It's 50-50 versus like the other.
B4B.
Like the butterfly is 125, 125, and it shoots up. So it's probably just really affordable for its stats. The Kraken is a gimmick unit that no one will ever use. Maybe in 2v2. Maybe. Predator, some sort of like scuttling little sniper, I guess.
Spirit of the slain.
Mobile gun has arrived.
They need to have like more explanation in game for like what to do or how to build.
Systems read.
I think let's go with gunbots. And here
101.
I'll put my king crabs on the left, and yeah, ballista I think is gonna be better than the recall.
We are here.
Definitely want the butterfly and dragonfly or airship. I say without knowing like which one really is which. I mean, I could get the bulwark, but I feel like planning for second tier is just a loser proposition. I feel like, I mean, I'm sure there have been games and situations where someone has equipped a higher tier unit to this slot. But when you tech up to 2 and your opponent techs up to 1, or let's make it the other way so it's more clear. When you tech up and you get 1 unit and they get 2, they have a lot more flexibility. And, you know, you could say like, okay, well, tech up to this one first, where you have the 2 units. And then you can, you know, tech up to this one later. But then, wait, then you have to tech up a second time to get to the... So that's 3 techs in one game. It's nearing impracticality. It's relatively impractical to do that sort of way.
Resource base warmed up. Enemy is building a resource base.
Systems rate scanning. Calculating grid.
Okay, I think the plan here, the ploy.
Infantry. Location. Loading.
Here's the play. The play, that is the word. The play is get the play here is to get the crabs up. Get my crabs up, and then I can do stuff with them.
Starting foundry.
I'm feeling pretty good about
New position.
using those guys for their anti. Ooh, hell.
Full auto. Hoorah! Rita, no.
You got a resource space taking fire. Cover it.
Go! Triple tap. Gunbox moving.
This is a very aggressive composition here.
Fire, fire. Better cover.
Yikes, yeah, I mean, I guess part of this is on me. I am not, like, building more dudes and sending them out when I really should be.
Rounds on target. Standing for
Enemy is building.
And
a
they are
resource
also
base.
not in addition to having a resource base up on us,
Foundry ready.
they are also
leg actuators activated.
Whoops. We're down on minerals now because we lost the base, or lost all the resources.
Your resource space is gone.
Rolling. Driveline engagement.
I wish I could have something other than these guys for my other...
Resource space warmed up.
I
and
think let's resource base here, but...
Right way. Just let me. Rocks.
Not good. Also, like, they go in for the back door. I mean, right now, I only got this thing to defend and this thing, so I really just don't have that much. But also, they got the destroyer, which is gonna be, like, anti my, things. Anti my...
Stay off the pavement.
It's gonna tear through my, crabs. And... yeah, there's no continuing from there.
keep your head up and bounce back.
Huh. I feel much more right now constrained by units. And that's really a bummer. You know, like I said, the first time I played was the last few days of the last beta, so everything was unlocked. Everything was unlocked, so I had everything to start with. It's not like Missilebot and Gunbot is a bad pairing, but like...
Teleported.
Wasp gathering.
I would really like to have the Wasp. I would really like to have the Wasp or the Scorpion to be able to do some rushes and things of that nature. You know, because if a good rush like that, if it doesn't win you the game, can at the very least keep your opponent behind on economy and make it so that you can take an early lead and if not win from there, then... if not win immediately, like win eventually. And it's much easier to win that way than with gunbots and other units that are slow. And by teching up the proper way, quote-unquote. That said, if we do run into decks like that, you know, that are all about, like, all-inning, then a defensive deck like the one with the recalls... I mean, actually, the recalls take a while to get up. I don't know that, like, you know, every 100 minerals is a recall, so to get, like, 10 of them, you need, like, 1,000 minerals. That takes as much How much time would that take? That takes like a good few minutes, which you generally don't have. Should we not have teched up there? Was that the mistake? We teched up too.
Enemy is building a resource base warmed up and
Maybe watch out for aggressive decks and play more defensively.
Systems ready. Gunboats ready. Bound and cover.
They got the destroyers. These guys are anti-big. These guys are just gonna fuck up my my dudes. I think I want to go into air here. A Starforge is what I'm thinking.
Hoorah!
starting Starforge.
There's a bit of a game of chicken here, like who goes first. You know what your enemy is going for. And then you can commit to their counter. There's like skill to that. They're going for the destroyer. Okay.
Robotic infantry. G1. Get at it. Gunbots
Not being very aggressive. Should I take another expansion? I'm going to.
Warmed up and working.
better cover.
Like, they don't have splash. Oh, yes. Well, that's not splash, so these guys are... Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. These guys don't really, like... Aren't really... There's nothing that's really coming out that counters them, per se. And indeed, we don't have... They don't have anything that's... requires me to get anti-air, so...
Okay, select.
Get a bunch of butterflies, I guess.
Moving in. Go now. Just cruising up here.
Okay, so we're all teched up here.
Riding the wind.
Right, they don't have another base here, so what am I attacking?
Woo! We made it.
Coming this way. Where are they?
Circle.
Oh,
Fresh breeze. Time to kill.
I think that's anti-air? That anti-air? Yeah, I think that's anti-air, but we're... Those bigs are not good against the smalls. Let's pull back for now and get more of these guys. Get more of these guys. And get them all coming this way.
Butterflies moving.
Tab. S. They're not building their tech, yeah? Yeah, no. I think we pretty much got this one. Yeah, indeed. They can't compete. We have so much army. More army every minute.
Bravo.
That was a good win. This game is good. Oh, hey, we've got, we earned enough to get a second rank on our battle pass. We got a spray that says GG. That's not great. Honestly. I mean, that's fine. I'll use that, I guess, if I were to spray. That's a pretty good one to spray at the end of the game. Specifically. How is it rare if it's... Wait, what? Hang on, go back in there for a second. Where's the fucking thing? Where's the fucking battle deck? Is it in cosmetics? Oh, there's like different... Okay, yeah, I'll take... Oh, you have to unlock it. These are locked, okay. Oh, you can repaint your army, okay. I'll go with, red is cool. Rust. Just noticed this is the thing. And yeah, let me go to the warpath here. Well, how can it be rare if they're all on a battle pass? It's not like they're randomly given. It's not like there's loot boxes anymore. Is that just how battle passes work? They have this whole rarity system that doesn't mean anything anymore? I guess this is topical. This is topical. This is just me saying what everyone already knows, like the LA scene at the end of that episode where Fry thinks he goes to the future in Futurama, the future of the future, but he's just in LA. The topical commentary. Enough with the topical commentary. That's maybe this is something that everyone already knows, and I just don't really deal with that often. Well, I think we did get 10 matches, and it looks like it expanded out to more than that, so I'll say that the per game experience is not the full picture. There is also these like seasonal contracts that seem to expand over time and just give you random bunches of XP at random times for doing random things. But I'll say it does feel like a slow burn right now, and like I'd be surprised if I'll put in enough games over this next week and a half period to you know, unlock most things. I'll say like I would like to unlock, not now, not yet. I would like to unlock not just the new units that are in the battle pass, yes, but also like you know, I'd like to unlock the Wasp and the Scorpion. I would like to unlock who would I like to unlock? Blink last time, I remember that being underpowered. I'd like to unlock the Hornet. I would like to unlock over here the Mortar, I guess. I would like to unlock over in the air side the Stinger and maybe the Falcon. Advanced Recall could be cool. I could mess around with that. Maybe some of these more advanced things. Again, this whole stream, we never once got the tier 2 technology, so like questionable how useful they are, how valuable they are, but you know, I've certainly seen it used against myself once or twice, so maybe that's just a me issue. Maybe that's a skill issue, not necessarily a rule of thumb that the tier 1 is always better than tier 2 just because of how accessible it is. I will play some more of this over the next week and a half off stream. It's kind of sad that it's that short of beta. I'll say I kind of would like to be able to just like, you know, not play this actively and just come back like in a month and be like, oh yeah, play a little bit here, play a little bit there. And I'll say like right now, I'm still not finished with Metaphor, though I am in the final like probably 20 hours or so, I don't know. I'm in like the final stretch. There's like one obvious done. There's like a bunch of side stuff left and whatever is left in the story after the calendar runs out. So I probably got like another 20, 25 hours in it. But I intend to finish that this weekend. So time for this game. I don't know. Maybe next weekend will be more the Battle Aces weekend. Also, Brothership is coming out. I'll say I think this they picked a weird time to be putting out this beta in the middle of video game release season. I still think it's good. The differences that I'm seeing in this new beta, I should say the difference is the quest thing is neat. Them adding quests, that's cool. That's a good thing to add. The cosmetics, it's nice to be able to customize that a bit. I would, as far as like the new units go, no one has access to that shit except for people who got it comped got all that crap like comped up front, so no one can really speak to that yet, other than like the big streamers who like actually play RTSs, other than who like for whom RTSs are like their main thing, right? Who are having a much better experience right now, quite frankly, than you or me. I think that they gave everyone a code of this to give away. I need to find someone to give that to. If you're interested, I guess you could comment. If you came all this way to the end of the stream, or the end of the VOD, if you're watching the VOD, you know, shout out and like get in touch. I'll probably have it still. Who knows? I'll comment if I give it away. I'll comment if anyone takes it. I think that they should seriously consider rethinking how slow it advances. This is not like... It could use a slightly more exciting start, I guess. It could use a faster on-ramp. And also, I'm not sure about the idea of having the units be on the battle pass. I'll say, like, I kind of think the units should be free. I kind of low-key think they should just be resources, and that's all. That's just in-game money, and that's all. But I understand that they want to make money, and what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It'd be nice if the cosmetics could pay for the game, but honestly, I mean, I'll say I don't play that many free-to-play games, but when I do, I never buy cosmetics, so, you know, very, very rarely. Like, I did with Overwatch, I went into loot boxes and all that, but that was like the one time in my life that I did it, and ever since, you have to at least have something. Marvel Snap has like one card a season, be like Battle Pass exclusive, and that works pretty well. Maybe consider that. And when you pay for it, you should get it up front for free. Like, immediately. No fucking around there. No fucking around. Okay. That's enough, that's enough for tonight. I'm gonna become real big-like. And then I'm going to show the schedule. That's right, there's a schedule to future streams. This was the one time I'll play some of this during this beta. You know, when it comes back again, maybe we'll do another stream of it. But I'll say this: if the next time it comes back, if it is like this and you have to grind and unlock all your crap again, and you can't just like start with most things unlocked and start from like a full deck, then at the very least I would stream at the end of the beta after I have gotten in some practice and you know, put together a deck that I'm proud of, or even like maybe multiple decks, rather than figuring it out on the fly and you know, doing that. Assuming that, you know, hell, maybe it'll be like Rivals 2, where I sort of like peter out on the betas and just go like, okay, well, tell me when it's done. Tell me when it's done. Tell me when you're willing to say 1.0. Have it be available forever, and you know, any progression isn't lost. You know, any progression isn't lost. That's sorry, more and more thoughts on this game. I keep having them. Let me send people, anyone here, somewhere. I'm not particular as to where. Ketrock is doing StarCraft, I guess, if we wanted to do like a StarCraft related stream. I am thinking there's a lot of people online. I'll send you over to Referee Clark, that's fine. Referee Clark is cool. Is an actual... Wait, formerly a wrestling referee. Formerly. Now... full-time streamer? Full-time streamer or like something or other? I don't know. Probably has another job. I don't know for sure, but is a cool dude. Check him out. So I'm going to send the Twitch people over there. And as far as this channel goes, other streams, tomorrow I'm going to be doing Mario Maker 2 viewer levels. Expect a lot of topical talk during that stream. It has been a whole hell of a week here in America, and like I said up top, we're gonna get into it then, and also play a lot of viewer levels from the people at home. And then the schedule will be that Friday streams, and also Tuesday streams. There'll be something or other, something different every week maybe. Next week, I'm thinking either Metroid Dread Randomizer, or if I don't feel like trying too hard, a random revisit of, let's say, Splosion Man, randomly. I've been wanting to do some more random revisits where I play a random game randomly for a bit, for a stream, and thinking Splosion Man would be good for that. We'll see what I do next week. TBD, TBD. I'll see you tomorrow for viewer levels, folks. Bye now. And let me end the VOD as well. I just sent the people off who are on Twitch. But I guess YouTube is still here. Again, I'll see you on Friday for viewer levels. And also Tuesday for next week for something or other. See you tomorrow, folks. Bye.